What's up, everyone? Aubrey Trades here, coming at you with another trade recap. We are done for the day. Well, done for the morning anyway. We're going to come back in the afternoon, see if there's anything, with good potential. Missed out on STEV, even though I saw this consolidation pattern happening, and I went to go edit a thumbnail because I'm trying to get some new thumbnails. Because I've been using the same 3 forever. And then while I was doing that, it made the move that I was anticipating. Oh well, no harm, no foul. I don't want to overtrade. But what I did take was AUNXF and SONN a little bit. Now, good planned out trades with good theses. The execution on AUNXF, not as great. We'll get into it right now, actually. So let's talk about AUNXF, right? PBYA had a decent bounce, right? If you caught this 131, you could have taken it to 142, or over here 125, you could have taken it to 137. Remember, I only think of OTCs right now as bounce opportunities, even though PBYA I was expecting, it had the priming for continued upside, and like we've been seeing, it's just not so, certain. So we gotta plan accordingly. AUNXF though, $27 on it, nothing crazy. Right? And because of the way I sort of messed up the execution here, ends up being, that's not what the trade was. It ends up being, actually a slight loss because I messed up the execution, right? So I'm watching here for the panic out the gates. I was focused on STEV and PMBY, but what happened was this started giving me the most panic out the gate. STEV, it opened lower, which is ironically similar to what it did yesterday, before doing this move, whatever. And then PBYA, it just wasn't panicking that much those first 5 minutes. So I hopped over here. And what it was, I'll show you. I waited. I saw this get breached, so I said, sit on my hands, let's see how it reacts, right? When it came green and we started a second green candle, that's when I felt confident to enter, and then I would look to this 115 zone, right? And I don't know if I mentioned it in the video before this, because I did a couple takes of it, but I'm always wary of the lines I put in, even though they do make sense. We typically can see that you'll puncture through. I did this line compared to here, right? But as you can tell, we had some in the 12s, whatever. So I don't take them as gospel, but I like to wait to see how they react. So it recovers. I get in on that second candle, and I wanted to put in 100,000 share order. This was the mess up. And I got in 66,000 shares. Right? So I got less than the position I wanted. So then I put in another order for 100,000 shares, right? Because I was like, whatever. And at that point, I'm like, okay, I wanted 100,000 shares in general. I put in an order for another 100,000 shares because I knew that botch was going to cost me an extra round of commission. So I'm like, okay, well, I need a bigger position size just to make up for it. Didn't get greedy. The entire time on the bid, just like last time, multiple, it was 500K bids here, 200K bids, and then the ask was only lines of 10, right? Lines of 10K. So that gave me the confidence to enter and give it some time. And then I sold into the pop here at 124. Definitely missed out since this was 127. Well, we saw the pop to 127, and my P&L was like $70, right? So I hit flatten now, and then by the time I got filled, it filled me to 124. I'm wondering, you know, had I set a limit sell for 127, because we had, you know, a couple minutes here where even this touched 130s. If I had the limit sell, I might have gotten filled. But again, I don't trust anything right now. I mean, bounces, the bounce to break to new highs, it's not working so much. So, you know, as far as I knew, this was going to be the top, and we were going to get a big sell, and we were going to retest the lows. So I'm like, oh, I'm up 70. Now I didn't know I was going to get filled at 124. I thought maybe I'll get filled at 125, 126, but alas, $27, 3 rounds of commission. And so in my mind, I was like, okay, well, I guess I only made like $3, right? But then I checked my my net liquidity, and it was down by like $5 or something like that. I'm like, wow, I actually lost money on this trade, even though it went exactly the way I wanted it to. So I hopped over to SONN, which at the time was doing the break at 2. It's right here. I have the show trades on. I don't know why Thinkorswim is doing this lately. It's like I literally have to refresh everything. So we're doing the break at 2, and this is where I'm like, I took like 1,000 share scalp position for the break at 2. Now I didn't want to get in here, even though I could have made more, but I was like, let me wait for confirmation. In the same style as I like to do my dip buys after seeing a support get touched a couple of times, right? So when we had a break at 2, and then we were teetering in the 2s, and we were dipping in 195, 196, right? So I get in, I'm watching level 2, I'm watching the trade ladder, and I chose a moment when it was dipping, and when I saw a big flash of like 400 by 50 or something like that, I'm like, okay, it's gonna do a quicken. I literally did this. I bought and I sold within like seconds, right? Because I felt like the jerk was gonna happen, so I got in. Not as low as I could have done, but I got in, just $2.01 basically, and flipped it for $2.02, right? So added an extra $10 to the P&L. Really dumb, really freaking dumb, really dangerous. Like that. Just what happened 2 minutes later is this thing halted down, right? Literally 2 minutes later, nasty pull all the way down to the 180s, halt down, opens up, rips to retest again, which I don't know why I wasn't thinking of the halt down bounce, right? Because up here in the 2s, what we were seeing was like sells. I mean, this right here on the trade ladder, this was like 2,000 on this ass size, which is 20K, right? Because they like add 2 zeros. So like 20K share orders, and it was just staying there. It was just staying there, not getting chipped away. So I'm like, all right, people are really shorting this in the 2s. It stood to reason that any smart short seller was going to go ahead and cover into this halt down. And I think that's what happened, because we ended up getting this retest into the 2s. And then we're just kind of gradually fading. If I had to take a guess, I'm sure like people were getting reloaded up here to ride this fade down. And that's just me though. But added an extra $10 to the P&L, so my liquidity actually shows a profit, even though my P&L on the day is going to be $38.74. Figure $21 is OTC commissions, and then what I was looking through my account statement too, and there's like miscellaneous fees on some of these OTC trades outside of just the $7 trade commission, and some of those MISC fees are like $2, $3 on top of that each way. And I'm like, wait a minute. So I'm not really sure what's happening there. That's kind of annoying, but we'll see. I can't let that deter me from taking good trades. especially if, you know, if I can make 40, 50, 60, 70 bucks on an OTC bounce play, then whatever. If I have to give $14 to $20 in commissions, then, you know, I guess, right? Look at SONN now. Ooh, another hard pullback into the 160s. That's not looking so good for me. I'm probably like that chart's probably done for me, to be honest. That's all I got. That's really all I got today. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys did good. I hope you guys did better than me. I mean, I made a little bit of money, but my executions were not the greatest. However, still happy that I stuck to a trade plan. Even here, even on this scalpy move, I knew I was going in for a scalpy move. I knew I had to hesitate. I knew that, you know, I should wait for the turn on the trade ladder and literally just get in and out, because that's how fast it goes. And obviously that could have just as easily gone against me. I wouldn't recommend anyone do that. I only felt okay doing that. Sorry, that's my dog. I only felt okay doing that because on weekends, say hi, Juno. On weekends, I watch former runners on Thinkorswim on demand. And so I can look at the price action. Real quick, though, before I get out of here, I will talk about STEV a little bit, only because I think this setup is worth explaining. I saw this bit of action as I was getting ready to kind of pack it in. I was like, oh man, it kind of looks like it's getting ready to do something, because, you know, my lines are basically from this low print, and my lines are based off of a 5-minute chart. Right, so you get this low print here, this steady uptrend, and then at the time we had this little bit of a downtrend here. So we're kind of like forcing ourselves into this wedge, right? And so that's not to say this is always bullish, right? Sometimes we put ourselves into the wedge and then it has a hard pull. I just think of this as like, this is an inflection point. Pay attention, we're getting close to an inflection point, and then once this opens on this candle outside of the wedge, I would look to get in like 212, 214, and I would risk the wedge 208, 209, 210, right? And then this ended up getting a pop to 272. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, pretty crazy. So mad that I didn't capitalize. I still had buying power too, even after my really dumb SONN trade, which I shouldn't have done, right? I should have just sat on my hands, saw this setting up, said, I'm going to stick to this, because this was clearly the better risk reward option. I mean, even if you get in, let's say you get in at 215 and you sell, all right, let's say you sell in the 250s. What's 250 215, still 16% move, right? So I keep missing the good, like, double-digit percent moves. It's okay. It's just a matter of time. If I keep sticking to the plan, I'll get there. Okay. Good luck with the rest of your day. Hope you all did well. Let me know if you had any good scores. I want to hear about it. We can celebrate together. Otherwise, I'll have an update if I trade anything in the afternoon, and I'll be back with another watch list tomorrow. Aubrey, out.